birth and drive a couple of social entrepreneurial organizations which have earned national visibility as well as international visibility, and has enabled me to find myself in different fora where I was asking myself, how did you get there? It hasn't been one of monetary remuneration, but it's a remuneration that cannot be quantified with money. It's a remuneration that is priceless. Recognition of your contributions to society. In fact, one of the things that I was doing that earned me an international recognition that is called Ashoka Fellowship. Ashoka recognizes social entrepreneurs who have driven visions that have the capacity to create impact. And this resulted from an association I formed. Professor Ozumba happened to be one of those who really helped me, assisted me to both have confidence in what I was doing, give me support that enabled me to move beyond the university walls, outside to national. And it was called the Association for Good Clinical Practice in Nigeria. And the idea of it started by looking around and wondering how we can save the lives that we are losing. Lives we can save, but rather we were losing them. We were losing them from scenarios such as a woman with infertility. By the way, I had 6 years of infertility. I didn't have any child for 6 years of marriage. And after 6 years, God, in his infinite mercy, visited me in a very miraculous way. And I had 4 children by the time my first child was 3.5 years. No cesarean section. Absolutely nothing for 6 years. And in 3.5 years, God abolished that challenge. And so, I was in a situation where I empathized with a woman who had sought for a child for several years, delivered a child, but just because the child was delivered prematurely and needed an incubator, something as mundane as an incubator, we didn't have it. And we lost that child. Another lady was in labor, and the gen packed up, and that was how she lost another privileged baby. So, looking for how to save the lives we can save, we put together what we call the UNTH Resource Foundation, and we went cap in hand across the country. In 2 years, we only earned 2 million naira, with which we bought a mobile ultrasound machine. It was whilst I was visiting abroad, I came across an entity that is called clinical trials. And I realized that here, we have a lot of data. Albeit, we have data, but not in retrievable format. So we needed to reorganize our data, as well as also source out our data. Our data could enrich us, could help us to, develop the infrastructural deficiencies abolish them, and enable us to save the lives we can save. So I started pursuing clinical trials. And in the pursuit of it, we worked with NAFDAC, we got the Senate President, we got the National Assembly, we got the Ministry of Health, we got Nigerian Institute for Pharmaceutical Research on board, we got the Nigerian Institute for Medical Research, and the only person I did not host as a guest in the seminars and workshops that then ensued was the president. We were able to host the Senate president and just about anybody you could think of that was in the area of policy. And we were training medical health care workers across the nation to develop their capacity for clinical trials. Now, that journey has been for 16 years. And at the end of that journey, 2 years ago, having developed a lot of capacity, having made a lot of mark, spoken in different fora, Association of Nigerian Physicians in America, the umbrella organization for doctors, Association of Nigerian Physicians in the UK, Nigerian Association for Pharmaceutical Scientists and Pharmacists in the US, all sorts of platforms received in different universities abroad, being a developer in the Collaborative Institutional Training Initiative, which is an online platform where you go and qualify yourself to be accredited, to be capable of carrying out research that is ethical. So in all that journey, I could see the finger of God. That is just the remarkable thing. I could see the finger of God. So God directs you, he arms you, he gives you, what do I call it? Boldness to just, reach out. And now we have not only courtesy of the Vice Chancellor when he was there as Vice Chancellor of this university, he assisted me to visit the Clinical Research Center in Cape Town, and we modeled a clinical trial unit, which is now at the Enugu campus here. In fact, that was where I've been since 3:45. I didn't know you had started, just to see the work that is in progress there. A University of Nigeria Center for Clinical Trials is the very first clinical trial unit in the entire of this country. And even though we did not have funding, we continued to just market ourselves in the social media. And through that, we've attracted in the past 2 months almost 4 clinical trials. And through this effort, we've also established an African Clinical Trial Consortium, of which the Ashoka Fellowship I was given in 2008 now found me out, elevated me to a Globalizer Fellow. And now we are going to roll out this UNN Center for Clinical Trial as a template all across Africa. I've also been trying to drive capacity for cancer control, because I noticed as a radiologist that the patients were coming in late. So Nigeria has one of the highest mortality and morbidity statistics for cancer. And the reason for that underscores that, is late presentation, late presentation, late presentation. And against that late presentation is not my portion syndrome. It cannot happen to me. There is a denial, there is a procrastination, and we're trying to cut through this attitude, this knowledge, attitude, and practices in the country. And in that effort, we've been at it for 14 years. I've vetted an organization called Breast Without Spot. We've been able to create a CDS in the NYSC, and we've been able to train more than 3,000 youth corpers during their times for their CDS, doing this and going to the communities to pass on this information. We've been screening, and in fact, the story is very long. But the important thing is that it always starts with love. You love the people that are around you, your sphere of influence. And that love becomes the driver. It's not money that should be your motivator. And whenever you are in anything you are doing, don't be moved by what you see or what you hear. Only be moved by what the Word of God is telling you in your secret place with the Almighty. He will always guide you. And he will always help you. He will always see his finger helping you to negotiate the bend at the corner that you thought was going to be the end of the tunnel. And you continue to move forward. You shine the light. Thank you very much.
No, I'm a positive person, so I won't like to say that the whole of Nigeria is corrupt. So if you find yourself, this question is directed to our Professor Zumba. If one finds himself or herself in a position of authority, Prof, sir, do I have your ear, sir? Dear Prof, so if one finds himself, I said I'm a positive person, I don't want to say the whole of Nigeria is corrupt. And now one finds himself in an institution or a unit or a team where he feels that you're just getting that position just newly. And you just come and you just notice that everybody is looking for his naira and kobo. Where you just notice that everybody is looking for his naira and kobo. how to just my pocket, my pocket, my pocket, my pocket. And now you want to do things, but what you are going to do will require they are not getting anything into their pocket. This is like 90% of the stuff you have. Like 90%. What do you advise in order not to cause a riot? Thank you very much. Then to Professor Okoye, thank you very much for letting us know the need that we should love people. But in this business of loving people, and there's something you want to do in your heart, but somehow there is no resources. There is absolutely no resource for the extra thing you want to do, that particular need that you want to solve. What is your advice to somebody that want to really help out when there is no resource from anywhere? Thank you.
Praise the Lord. I think you've asked very germane questions, practical questions. Am I right? He says you are in some place and all they're asking for naira and kobo. Is that not so? Look, it's been said severally. When God gives you an assignment, He equips you for it. Are you with me? Like what I was just sharing with her. When God gives you assignment, He gives you what? Equips you for it. As I told you, the last job I was given was to run on soccer. Immediately I came there. What I saw there, I was emboldened. When David went to